There's an expression that armies are powered by breakfasts. Same is true for sailors. First step is to warm up the water in the electric tea kettle. Today's menu is breakfast skillet, freeze-dried food. I have a special tea cozy custom made for the size of the freeze-dried food pack. The tea cozy helps the food cook better. A measuring cup means I can add the precise amount of hot water. Undercooked freeze-dried food tastes rather powdery, so the goal is to avoid that by massaging the packet while it's steeping. In rougher sea conditions, I can just eat from the packet with my super long spoon. Makes cleanup very easy. Maybe I'll eat this way back on land. Yuck, no chance. Yummy, yummy. Here's the final product. Okay, freeze-dried food isn't the best. The dinners tend to be better than the breakfast. A passing cloud has brought a strong breeze, and I'm now in the process of changing to the staysail. First up is ensuring that the lazy staysail sheet will run cleanly. Thus, I have to ease the cheek block and flake the lazy sheet. Next up, I open the clutch for the furling line for the staysail. This line also needs to be flaked to ensure it will run smoothly. It had been stored in one of the many line bags. I've placed the furling line by the soon-to-be active winch so I can create a bit of drag on the furling line when the sail deploys. Now it's time to start winching the staysail sheet. Falling off another 30 degrees would be kinder to the furling gear. You'll see I still have the furling line in my right hand while grinding with my left hand. I'm holding on the furling line just to prevent the sail from jumping out quickly and the line becoming fouled. You can see I'm trimming with only one hand. It's not that I'm really strong, it's just that I have 3-speed winches which really aid in times like this. Sail deployed, now it's time to make sure everything is trimmed properly. I was not satisfied, so I had to put a couple more cranks. I do like how I keep my body inboard when I'm trimming the sails. And another adjustment of the jib car. The trim is never perfect, but I'm satisfied enough that I head on to my next task. It's time to put my fowlie on since the rain is coming. Cyclop is in ghost ship mode. There she is, close reaching along with the staysail and full main, and nobody on deck. Kinda eerie, but this is actually how solo sailors do it. I'm back with my cozy jacket on, and also getting a lot better at wearing my vest all the time. Well, where are we? Somewhere a little bit north of Lisbon and fairly far offshore. And we've got a breeze that's finally filled in. And because there was some kind of odd looking clouds around, I decided to roll out the following sail plan. Staysail in action. Genoa wanted to go, but staysail was called. Full main. We'll see if this cloud, like most clouds after you get into the precipitation area, after the precipitation comes, then the breeze dies. Probably switch to the Genoa again. We're almost beating, close reaching actually, and yeah, I'll show you some numbers. 60 degrees to the wind, and wow, breeze has dropped to 10 now. So it's probably Genoa time, but I'm gonna wait a few secs. That's the key of surviving, is you just have to have a state of nature last a few minutes before you act on it. It's not like racing. What is that horrible creaking noise coming from the mast? I was quite concerned when a noise was persistent, but this is when I discovered how great the shipyard JPK is. They are a small shipyard, but when I sent a distressed WhatsApp message to both the number 1 and number 2 at the yard, they replied quickly and said, "Jason, don't worry, just put a WD-40 in there and the noise will go away." Next time the mast comes up, I will put proper silicone grease to address the problem permanently. Before I can enjoy my masterpiece salad of lettuce and a variety of other things, I must go check on MSC Auriga, which is CPA in 8 minutes, so should be plenty of room. I've sort of swiggled the boat. Now, when I'm a sailboat, so in theory, I have rights, but I didn't force that. But I did something that you're not supposed to do. And what I did was, there she is on the horizon. So we were 2 vessels head on, and what I'm supposed to do in 2 vessels head on is turn to starboard, and she should turn to starboard. but I saw her very early on and just said it's easier for me to soak it down, to go a little deeper to port. And I don't think she ever changed course for me. But now it's dinner time. Well, there's been a bit of a wind shift, so we have to go on deck and trim the sails. Well, let's go explore outside because it's a beautiful night. The dew is starting to form, full moon. I've already got the deck light up on the foredeck so we can see well. Every star in the sky is out tonight shining down on Cyclops. You guys probably can't see that. The only star you can see is the red and green star at the top of the mast. And then if we look underneath the boom, look who's out there, a huge moon. Just lighting our way. But we have work to do. But I like giving you guys a feel for what it's like out here. It's a little bit after midnight. And there's no land. There's no other ships. There's just the beautiful night lit by stars and the moon, powered by the wind. Years ago, I read a book by esteemed yacht designer Bob Perry, in which he defines what types of boats are comfortable. And his thesis is long-keeled, rounded shapes are comfortable. Cyclops does not match that description. My experience on the JPK 39 counteracts the famous nautical designer's thesis. It's been darn comfortable. The accusation is that boats with strong riding moments return to center quickly, making it uncomfortable. That has not been my experience so far. In the video, you may have heard a whining noise that varies in intensity. That is from the Watton Sea, not from the hull. And it's actually quite helpful. When it whines at a high pitch, I know the boat is going substantially faster. This device is my secret squeak silencer. Occasionally the hatch in a bigger sea starts to make a little squeak, and I just drop those in there and it stops the movement. Another tasty freeze-dried meal. What's interesting about the carrot bowl is actually it only needs cold water to cook. The Fiesta beef, though, will need hot water. To produce the hot water, I use an electric tea kettle, which consumes a ridiculous number of amps. Let's go look at the screen and try to figure out how quickly my batteries are going to empty. The kettle is drawing over 90 amps. Don't worry, the batteries can handle it just fine. One of my upgrades on Cyclops was to have courtesy lights in the cockpit. Besides their obvious benefits during night, they also add a warmth that keeps the scary away. Non-sailors assume when I go to sea that I'm steering the boat 100% of the time. Well, obviously that's impossible. But what percent of the time do I sail? And what percent of the time does the autopilot take charge? I would say the autopilot's in charge 90% of the time. Staysails, that ratio has changed. 90% steering, 10% autopilot. Two reasons I take over the helm on longer passages. One, heck, it's a lot of fun. The point of a sailboat is to sail it after all, and monohulls reward you in spades for the effort. The second reason to steer one's boat is to make sure it's in balance, to see if it's got a lot of weather helm. For the autopilot can steer under a lot of weather helm, but eventually it will cause problems to the gear or cause a mini broach. So what do we get done this summer? We started in Vigo, Spain, and we did a 6-day passage from Vigo to Madeira, which was about 800 miles. Then we did a shorter passage, 3 days, from Madeira to Tenerife. About 8 days at sea and 1,200 miles of sailing let me understand the boat better. This is critical for building my confidence for the transatlantic sail from Tenerife to Florida. I proved to myself that I actually can handle the sleep management of a 6-day passage. This was completely uncharted territory for me. I conquered a few challenges. For example, when I was reefing the Genoa once, the furling drum managed to consume a bit of a lazy spinnaker sheet. Eventually, after a couple of wraps developed inside the Genoa furler, the resistance increased, and I stopped. A winch could have kept going, but I could feel it and stopped. A trip to the bow revealed my mistake, Patient pulling out of the line cured the problem, and now I will never leave a lazy spin sheet slack.
Now we're making water. Said earlier we were making water, and look what we've got. We got the spinnaker up, making water. Wow! So we're not going terribly slowly. We're kind of doing 7s to 8s. You can see over here. Let's go look at the screen with our spinnaker. There we go. Speed over ground right now, 7-1. And the spinnaker is pulling us along. And how are we charging the batteries? Well, with our wonderful Watt & C. Our Watt & C is charging the batteries right now while we're making water, while the autopilot's driving, while the spinnaker's up. That is pretty incredible. What a view. Wow.
Notice the black mass just peeking over the riprap. That's me coming in to Tenerife. Season's over, and now it's time to start preparing for the Transat November 2025. The trip between Tenerife and Florida is about 4,000 nautical miles if you head down to the proper route that will have wind. It's going to be a long trip, lots of challenges, and I hope you will join